Hey guys, this is your universe, and in today's video I want to talk about how to solo farm the Shade of Eranikus from Sunken Temple. As you can see my gear, my healing flask set has around 630-ish healing powers. Most of the items are green items from auction house, and my combat gear is nothing special, just a lot of them are AQ 20 and ZG level. And for my talent point, it's just a standard two-hand fury with a slam. You may wonder why I play with a two-hander. It's really just because I like them, and I don't really have any good one-hander. So if you are a dual spec with good one-handers, this can definitely be easier for you. And so first thing we want to do, the first step, we want to kill the 6 troll bosses on the platform. And if you happen to draw aggro from the trash mob in the staircase, you can just jump onto this ledge to reset. In Sunken Temple, there's a lot of reset points, so I'll show a lot of them in this video. And once these mobs de-aggro from me, I'll just engage the boss after turning this corner. And these mini boss, they don't really cause any problems in general. Just make sure before you engage them you have a good amount of life point, because you don't want to be like me. I rushed in a hurry and I got pretty low for a few seconds. So just make sure you are healthy enough, and other than that, nothing much to be said. So I'm gonna speed up the next segment of the video because it's pretty much the same thing. You just kill the remaining bosses, and I'll definitely talk more in the next segment. So enjoy the video. So that's it for the trolls. After we killed these 6 bosses, we now have the access to the prophet's room. So we want to jump down from this platform and make sure when you navigate in the lower area, just make sure don't aggro any of these dragon spawn and the whelps. And the room where the prophet is approximately in the 4 o'clock position on the minimap. And so if you're careful with the way you navigate, you shouldn't pull any aggro from these dragons. And yeah, so we're just gonna go to the room. And for this part, you don't have to kill any of these trash mobs in the room. I'll show you how. So you want to navigate all the way to the end of the room where you see all the tablets are, and you want to jump onto this tablet right here. This is a reset point, and it's going to be very important. So what we want to do now is to first equip any item or trinket that allows you to summon a pet, and you want to shoot the prophet with a bow or a gun. What this is going to do, I'm going to show you in just a couple minutes. We want to separate the aggro from the trash mob and the prophet. In order to do that, we want to first shoot them with a bow, and once we get mind control, if the prophet says his line again, the line is the soul flare has come. If he says it again, that means the aggro has been successfully detached from the mobs. And in this video, as you can see, I got pretty unlucky. I tried maybe 4 or 5 times, it didn't work. And trust me, most of the time you won't get this unlucky. Most of the time, you should work either the first try or the second or third try. In this video, I just got a bit unlucky, so I had tried a couple of times. So if it didn't work the first time, don't worry, just shoot it again. And sometimes you could also resist the mind control, and obviously in that case you will have to try that again as well. But as long as you are on this reset point, on this tablet, you shouldn't be in any danger. The mobs won't be able to hit you, and the damage caused by the mages from the distance shouldn't be that much to put you in any danger zone. And if you get mind controlled, your health will be regenerated very quickly. So that was my, I guess, my third attempt. So we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes. So the first time when you shoot the prophet, he's gonna say the soul flare has come. And once again, what we want to do is, after he put the mind control on us, we want him to say the line again. If he didn't say it, try it again. And that should be the last failed attempt. Next time we should get it. Like I said, I got really unlucky this video. That's the first time that ever happened to me. Okay, try one more time. Soul flare comes. Wait for the mind control. Okay, now he says the line again. The soul flare comes. So when he says this sentence, while you're transforming into a berserker, that means the aggro has been successfully detached. Now we can safely engage the prophet once all the trash mobs go back to their original position. We're just gonna wait a little bit, and before we go in, we want to summon our pet. In my case, I'm using an ancient cornerstone grimoire. You could also use a Baroque peasant color. That should work as well. After we have the summon, what we want to do is pop our flask set and just walk a little bit to pull aggro from the prophet. And don't start hitting it just yet. We want the prophet to cast mind control on our pet. This is very important, because if we get mind control during the combat, we will drop combat and this attempt will fail. But our pet, it doesn't matter. Even if it gets mind control, it won't turn against us. What it will just do, it will turn into a berserker and it will hit much harder on the enemies. So just using this method, it should be the most reliable way, and that should give us enough window to kill the prophet and his minion, his assistant, right here. If you don't have a summon, trinket, or skeleton book, I think you could also, it still works. You just have to fulfill one of the following two conditions. First, you should have enough firepower to burst the prophet down under 15 seconds. If you have enough power, that could work, because the mind control usually happen after 15 seconds. Or you are lucky enough to resist the mind control. You could maybe try this by bumping up the shadow resistance. I haven't tried it yet. I don't know how well it exactly works, but you could try that. But with the method with a summon, with a, in my case with a skeleton book, works 100%. It's very reliable. So after we kill the prophet, now we have the access to the final boss area, and that's why we have to kill the prophet first, because otherwise we won't be able to engage Eranikus. And before we engage Eranikus, we want to kill these two green drakes that spawn after we kill the prophet. I'm gonna show you why in just a couple as but essentially we also want to separate the aggro in the final boss. Same thing as we did with the prophet, because some of you who have already played in this instance before, you know that if we engage the final boss, he will basically summon all the whelps and dragon spawn, the drakes in this area to his room to help him, and we just have to kill some of it and detach aggro for the rest of the dragon spawns. So we're just gonna kill these drakes right here. One-on-one, they shouldn't cause too much threat. But just make sure you're healthy enough before you engage the next one. And sometimes they can blast you up onto to this ledge. It is another reset point. Just be careful, because otherwise you can drop combat. And make sure you pull one drake at a time. Be careful with the way how you pull, because I think with this one, what I did is I accidentally hit it with my gun while he's very close with trash mobs. So if you accidentally make a wrong pull, don't worry. So as you can see, I also pulled the dragon spawn next to it. Don't worry, jump onto this ledge. This is like I said, this is a reset point. So like I mentioned previously, there's a lot of reset points in Sunken Temple. So if you ever run into a tricky situation, in a very dangerous situation, don't worry, just jump onto a reset point, and it's better to be safe and restart the fight than do a corpse run. So I'm just going to engage this little drake right here for another time. Yeah, so after they're dead, we want to go in the room right next to the room where the prophet is. And we also have to kill these trash mob in this area. The reason why is because they are too close to the final boss. So when we do our trick in just a couple minutes, they will just run back to their original position too quickly. So they have to be killed. And yeah, so I'll just engage them. And it is very possible that if you're not geared enough, you won't be able to kill all of them in once. It doesn't matter. After you kill one, just jump onto the ledge. I'm just going to show you right here. After I kill this mage. So I got low after this mob right here. So what you want to do is jump onto this ledge and reset combat. So you don't have to kill them all at once. In fact, maybe it's going to be too difficult to kill them all in one trial. So when you get low, just jump onto the ledge and rinse and repeat. So after we clean these trash mobs, we will also have to kill these two drakes right here. The reason being, like we mentioned before, the drakes have a very high movement speed. When we do our aggro separation trick with the final boss, it doesn't really work well with these drakes because they run too fast. So we have to kill them. And since they are together, we have to pop our diamond flask. And other than that, this should be very easy. As long as you have a healing set, they don't hit very hard. It shouldn't be too much of a problem.
I need a target. It's too far away. I can't. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready. I can't do that. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that. That ability.
So after the drakes are down, we will have to wait our flask cooldown before engaging the final boss. And so I don't want you guys to wait for 5 minutes of me doing nothing, so I'll cut the video clip till where the flask is ready. So now our flask is almost ready. And so in order to do our aggro separation trick, we want to shoot the final boss, the Shade, from around this distance and run up to this ledge right away and jump onto the second part of the ledge. This is the reset point. Once you are here, the boss won't follow you, but he will keep summoning all the dragon spawn and the whelps in this area, as you can see right here. So all the whelps, all the dragon spawn are now being summoned to the boss room. And now we are out of combat. The boss goes to the initial position. We just have to wait. Now let's talk about the consumable you will need for this fight. I'm using Elixir of Mongoose and Elixir of Giants. They are not mandatory, but if you have a bad gear, I recommend you to pop them. And other than these two, you will also need a greater magic resistant potion. I think that's the name. That's how the name is called. Essentially, the potion that gives you 50 resistance point to all schools of magics. The reason being, when we engage the final boss, he has one ability that can put you into a sleep state, and that sleep usually lasts 15 seconds, and that greatly reduces our DPS window. So we don't want that. So that's why we're popping. We have to bump up our shadow resistance to resist this spell. And other than that, you don't really need any other consumable. And the magic resistant potions are not very expensive. They cost around 50 silver each in my server. So we just have to wait for all the whelps and dragon spawn are gone. And that once the last mob leaves, that's when we're gonna engage the final boss. Just waiting for the final mob to leave. Okay, it's leaving, and up we go. And another trick, the boss also does AoE stun. So what you want to do is try to hit it from the furthest distance possible, away from the red circle right underneath it. This way, when he does his stun, like right here, it won't affect us, it won't hit us. So just make sure you hit it from the maximum distance. And other than that, just once you have 5 stack of Thunder Armor on, pop your cooldown, your Recklessness, and your Death Wish, and just smash it. Yeah, and that's it. And there we go. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.